This was on a forum that I found for people that are getting married, and it's directed towards women. And it says, the big thing is there's 12 reasons generally that women will step out on their man and go look for that extra DNA. The number one reason is dissatisfaction in the relationship. The second one is low self-esteem. Let that sink in for a second. Low self-esteem. The third one is emotional starvation. Number 4 is anger or retribution. She's looking to pay him back for some sort of behavior that he's displayed. Number 5 is lack of excitement. Number 6 is sexual deprivation, like she's underfucked. You know what I mean? She's not being handled properly. Loneliness, once again, that falls into that, that category. Insecure attachment style, and I'm sure Wraith can touch on that. Midlife crisis was number 9. Number 10 is an underlying condition, which I don't understand that one. 11. And this is why, the boss babe idea is a horrible idea for women, is opportunity. Let that sink in for a second. Opportunity, gents. And number 12 is numbing difficult feelings. So if they have unresolved issues, they're numbing them out by acting in that certain way. But I find it interesting that number 2 is low self-esteem. And I'd like MLD to comment on a couple of those if he's still with us. I know the time difference is crazy. But I find that very, very interesting. Your thoughts on that, MLD?
Yeah, bro. You know, girls, I've told them, like, oh, baby, you're not ugly.
Go, man. Go.
The use of lies in game.
Yeah, no, man. Because they're just like, they're like the wounded gazelle at the end of the herd, they're like limping along. And I'm like, oh, yeah, look at this one. But yeah, because a lot of women, they feel okay, I always talk about inner game, right? Which falls under frame here. And then the thing is this. So with these chicks, they fucking, they will use male compassion, or not compassion. They will use sexual intimacy as a band-aid to like kind of feel some kind of connection. Does that make sense? Like when they can't self-validate, when they feel empty inside, when they feel damaged, when they feel hurt, when they feel sad and alone, a guy can come along and fucking comfort them, and then they'll give in to having sex with that guy because they just want to feel loved and attached. And that happens more than guys think, man. I've been that guy. Like, I went on a date with this really hot girl recently, and she's 25, and she was like dating some like real, like, well, the way she described him was an abusive, psychopathic narcissist. I was like, yeah, that's the same thing my ex called me. Great. But just I sat there and I listened to her, and she was a little insecure about herself. And I just sat there and listened to her non-judgmentally, and she was just spewing it out. And I was just like, I just looked at her like a little fly caught in my web, just like, oh, I'm just so hurt and I'm so angry. He did these things to me. I'm like, oh, babe, this is so terrible. Let's get out of this place. It's too crowded. Let's go talk somewhere private. How about we go to your place? And she's like, yeah, you sure we're not going to do anything? I was like, no, we're just going to talk. I like talking to you, right? And she knows I'm full of shit. She knows she's full of shit. But you comfort them, and you kind of be that little safe, non-judgmental place for them to recoil into. And no, things happen. This girl's a smoke show, man. This girl's a fucking underwear model. She's and for all the fucking the black pill guys out there, she's taller than me, and I'm 5'10". I'm 5
Love
foot.
it. Wow. Love it, man.
Smoke show, dude. 34C tits, flat stomach, nice round ass, Filipina model. Whew, fucking hottie. 25 years old. Listen, I was talking shit all day next day to all my friends. I was like, I still got it, guys.
Yes.
Hey, Phil, I'd like to comment on a couple of those too, particularly insecurity and then the anger situation.
Yeah.
With those lists, because the insecurity, I think, is very inbuilt in women. That's part of their competition anxiety for sure. And I'll say this for the guys, you'll hear that in the relationship. If you pay attention, you're going to hear those insecurities, because if she's insecure, you're going to get a lot of shit tests. And particularly, you're going to get those comfort tests, the ones that are testing to see if you're still the alpha rock that she actually married or hooked up with. So pay attention to that, because there's tools. And I'm going to have to promote MLD on that. That's part of his game, is part of his repertoire. And he came up with Money's Muscles, Game and Frame, which addresses these precisely in a really easy to understand format. The second part is when they're, you know, when they're angry. Guys, you're going to get a lot of hints here. You know, you're going to get hints. They're going to say things. Okay. You're going to get things when she's mad at you, like, you know, I really love you, but it's like a brother. You know, you got trouble. And, or if you see any level of contempt, like you'll be driving along with her, you're looking outside and you see the beautiful blue sky. And you say, honey, look at that beautiful blue sky. And her response is this: it's not really blue. It's an off gray. Those are very tells that something is not right. And if you ignore it, she will seek the comfort of another alpha. And she'll say, I just need some space.
Yep.
And the men on this panel, our middle names are Space.
That's right. Universal, man. You know, let me just tee off of that real quick, since you brought that anger and retribution up. I'll further extrapolate that for the panel. It says some women enter into a relationship with an idealized image of how their spouse should behave. Okay, that idealized image in her mind. When the partner and so when the partner falls short of expectations and can't meet their every need and desire, it can create a divide in the relationship that provides the impetus to stray. So there's the rationalization behind it. You know, you marry someone in sickness and health, right? But he's not the guy I thought he would be. So let me go ahead and step out and get that extra DNA.
Yeah, but they don't think that's a problem, because that's inbuilt in their natural. It's their hypergamy fueled by their solipsism. It isn't. I don't think it's really a conscious thought at that point. It's more in lines with a survival mechanism. I mean, there is a conscious thought. There is a decision when it actually comes down to it. But I think the underlying pressures that are there are being driven by biology and actual behavior that we understand here in the red pill. Any comments on that?
I want to say something about insecurity. Okay, and shit test. All shit tests come from insecurity. Okay, but it depends on what the insecurity is. It's either hers about you or hers about herself. It's insecurity, no matter that brings about the shit test. But if she looks at you and she sees that there's something about you that's not right, that keys in on her. I'm insecure about this relationship. I have to test to make sure that I'm with the right person. Okay. Her insecurity about her is when she feels insecure in herself, she doesn't find that she's value to you, and she's shit testing you. That's where jealousy comes from. She's shit testing you to come up and say, okay, you're the one that I chose. Okay. And if you're not doing that, you're not reaffirming her needs in the relationship. And that's her need for attention, her need for understanding that you did choose her, those kind of things. So just understand that all shit tests come from insecurity, unless they're psychopathic. Now, if they're psychopathic, there's a lot of other reasons that shit tests come about. Or, you know, same thing with BPD. Those are different situations. But in a normal person, okay, and when you're dealing with a normal woman that's not psychopathic or borderline personality disorder, those shit tests are coming from insecurities. And you have to figure out what insecurity it is so that you understand how to manage that shit test.
Mm-hmm. I would even argue that to feed into that, social media has just made everybody more insecure these days. And so that's going to kind of lead into them doing more shit tests, you know, because like even Instagram gets on to me sometimes. And I'm like, I've made like multiple millions of dollars, and I'm fucking like, damn, I need to do better. I need to be like Andrew Tate. I need to be like fucking, you know, the CZ, the CEO of Binance.
No, and so, you just beat Jonathan MLD. That's good enough.
Don't give me that Disney shit.
Hey, money, muscles, game, frame, trademark registered.